Welcome to another episode of the Cover 7 podcast. We are stoked. We are excited. We are pumped up. It is almost week one in the ELF. I can't wait. We got seven games kicking off week one. 4 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. Daniel, we've been covering the ELF all offseason. It's almost here. How are you feeling?
All the things you said, stoked, excited. Yeah, I cannot wait. They've done an amazing job at hyping everyone up during the off season. The league seems to have only gotten better from last year, operationally, as well as our on-field product, the players they're bringing in, the new teams they've brought, like the fanfare to surround everything. So yeah, everything just seems primed for a really exciting league this year. I think it's going to be better than last year, and I cannot wait.
Me neither. So what do you say? Let's just jump right into it. Week one is on the horizon. Saturday, we have 3 games at 5 p.m. Central European time. Let's start off with the first one on the ELF graphic here. Paris Musketeers visit the Cologne Centurions.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting one. Everyone is looking forward to Paris. They are the new kids on the block with 2 of the best players from last year. Carl Sweet, Zach Edwards, quarterback and receiving duo. They carried Barcelona into the playoffs last year. Fell a bit short, but they're still an amazing pair. He's also been teamed up with old teammates in Andrea Moreno and Remy Bertolini. So, and then obviously the French talent, everyone knows what the French talent is. But can Marc Mattioli pull it all together? That is the question. It's going to be a tough challenge, but I think he can do it. And on the other side, Cologne Centurions struggled last year. I really think they're going to struggle again this year. Some questionable choices in the offseason. Cologne as a region has been struggling. Football has been very tumultuous there with the Crocodiles. And now they've got this quarterback situation where the Crocodiles folded. And so the Centurions are like, hey, we'll take a quarterback. There's a mysterious retiring announcement from Daniel Smith, the original import quarterback. So interesting game.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see how Paris looks week one, right? Because they have this accumulation of talent from all over France. It's almost like a pickup game. You pick the best athletes. They might not gel so well week one, but in the long term, you see the potential, right? But this will give us a little glimpse. And like you said, there is some chemistry to build on already in Paris. So really excited to see the Musketeers hit the field in their first ever ELF game. Daniel, you kind of hinted at it, but make it official. Who do you think is going to win that game?
I think it's good Paris. I think quite easily, quite comfortably, Paris walk away. The depth of their roster, the talent on that roster, is going to overwhelm Cologne Centurions, even if they don't gel well together. One-on-one matchups would be in Paris' favor all day.
It's very hard to bet against Zach Edwards, so I'm with you there. Moving on, we got another one with some mystery around it. I guess all the games are a bit of a mystery week one, right? But we got Hamburg Sea Devils, last year's runner-ups, and 2021 runner-ups, visiting the Wroclaw Panthers.
Hamburg, huge. The thing is, they've actually got better from last season, right? They've actually, like on offense, they've diversified, right? Bringing in Preston Hare has added a whole new dynamic. Last year it was run.
Yep.
Then run some more. This year, Preston can do everything, right? Preston is mobile and he's got a good arm. They've brought in Malik Stanley from Wroclaw, who's facing his old team. He's an extremely underrated receiver. He played for a pretty poor team last year, and I think he's going to do some magic this year. Defense, they lost a few pieces, but also gained a few pieces. So I think we're going to see something similar from those guys. Wroclaw, on the other hand, just an absolute mess, if I'm honest. I feel sorry for them, and I feel sorry. I know everyone's trying hard and so on, but the quarterback situation, you go from Nick Rango, who is who is this guy? I don't know.
Right, mystery.
And now they've brought another, I don't know guy.
Yep.
Who played for the Wroclaw Panthers, second division. He's like 5'10", 170 pounds. I mean, he didn't play much in college. I don't know, man. I'm not trying to shit on anyone, but yeah. Hamburg are going to win this game, I think.
I think it's tough. You're rooting for Wroclaw. They hired a great coach. They always have great European imports, and they have a great Polish domestic core. But you can't say everything is sweet and everything is hunky dory when you just got your quarterback. 10 days before the season kicks off?
And it's not even he's an established quarterback. Yeah. It's not as if he played for the Panthers second team, which is in the second Polish league.
Yeah.
It's not even the top Polish league, which is like, since the Panthers left, that league has deteriorated quite a lot. Everyone knows that. And so then the second league, it's like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah. I mean, let's divert a bit. Matthew Vitale, let's talk about him. He's kind of a hot button topic right now. Didn't play at Jackson State. Fair enough. Shedeur Sanders, not many people are going to play over him. Played at Temple, didn't see any action. Was a walk-on at West Virginia. Hasn't played much. I watched a little film, actually, in the Polish league of him.
Yeah.
It's because I care about this show. Yeah, it's tough to evaluate. He's athletic. He had some accurate passes, but to be honest, it was hard to evaluate because the level is quite a notch down from ELF.
Yeah. I don't know if they're... Do you know what I mean? It was so close to the season. Maybe they struggled to get someone after Nick Rango. They kind of went with Nick Rango and they were like, okay, we're not happy with what we've got.
Yeah.
So we're going to find something else, but there's nothing else available. But there's a few leagues wrapping up. Maybe the Italian league's wrapping up.
Yeah.
Maybe you could get someone from there. You could savagely just kind of cut Vitaly away and be like, we're done with you. We want someone else. And Elf has shown to be savage, right?
Yeah.
So maybe he's the placeholder, right? We're going to use him until we find someone better. And Roslaw had three quarterbacks last year.
Yeah.
So they could have three quarterbacks again this year. Who knows?
I think they could just plug someone from Austrian or German league. We've seen guys leave for ELF before.
Yep.
Sorry, not sorry. That's how it works sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think I know your pick. Hamburg is going to win this one
easily.
They have a great defense and a Roslaw offense that I assume is still trying to find its identity. Moving on, our third game at 5 p.m. Berlin Thunder visit the Februar Enthroners, another expansion team. How are you feeling about this matchup?
Berlin, I feel they've just been making some steady moves in the offseason, right? They've got an amazing receiving core. And then they've bought Donovan Ism as well, who's a really good quarterback. I think he's underrated. I think he was an underrated signing for the Berlin. He's going to add some strong foundations to that team, right? Because he's already in Berlin. He knows the guys. He knows the organization. I'm sure he went to a bunch of elf games last year. And so, I think they can do some good things. They've still got a pretty good defense. They didn't lose. They lost a couple pieces, I think, back in the interior in the trenches to other teams. But apart from that, I think they're quite a similar team from last year. So and they almost made the playoffs last year, right? Yeah. So I'm pretty confident. If Throners, on the other hand, I don't know. Right? Who knows what on earth is going to happen over there?
Who are the Enthroners? We're about to find out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But something going for them is that they've had a lot of European experience, right? Yeah. They've played in Cefal for a long time. They've played cross-border for a long time.
Cefal Cup champions last year.
Right. So, I think that'll heavily kind of swing in their favor. But I think it's actually quite a good game, to be honest. If the Enthroners can kind of the game swinging, I think it could be a good game. Yeah,
look out for Kyle Kitchens. I think he'll make his presence known in this game. And we also see Gerard Evans making his European debut, former Virginia Tech and
you're very big on
NFL quarterback. Yeah,
that's the Enthroners quarterback, obviously. Give us a bit of his history.
Yeah, went toe-to-toe with Deshaun Watson in the ACC championship back in 2016 on national television. This guy was an all-ACC type player, former number one quarterback in JUCO. I mean, he's a beast. So I want to see how he does in Europe. He's played in Japan. He's played arena ball. So, new challenge here for him.
As far as winner goes, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to give it to Berlin. Just because I feel like they've been in Elf. I think you're going to have to give it to the Elf team they've been there since the first year, right? They've got some guys that have been getting steadily better. They've brought in some good imports, some good European guys. They've got a very strong receiving core. I think Berlin take it.
We talk about this is at every level of football. Defensive backs and offensive line are key to winning games, right? And I just think it's a mismatch for the Berlin Thunder wide receivers against an Enthroners secondary.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely agreed. Yeah, Max Zimmerman, Robin Wilczek, and Aaron Jackson. Well, Aaron Jackson was called up by an NFL team last year. Yeah. Right? From Europe. Hey, we want you to come play for us. Yeah. That's a big deal. And obviously he's shown how good he was. Robin Wilczek, former IPP guy, amazing. Zimmerman, been killing Mr. German receiver for a long time now. And then Donovan Ism, I am very confident. I'd be happy if he was my quarterback.
For sure. Moving on to the Saturday night slate, we got Helvetic Guards traveling to Barcelona to play the Dragons.
Yeah, Dragons is it's unfortunate to be a Dragons fan this year. Well, I don't know actually.
You are low on the Dragons.
I am low on Dragons.
Fade the Dragons.
I am low because I was so big on Zach Edwards and Carl Sweet, and when they left, and then when they lost Andrew Weidinger as well, I was like, no, this organization is falling apart. But they've recently been bought by Malcolm Smith.
Yep, it was an investment group.
Yeah,
yep.
investment group, 60% of the team, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They've come in to make some changes. I'm sure their off-season signings, some of them were okay, some of them were not that great. Quarterback situation, Connor Miller. He's proven that he can do some things in Europe for the Graz Giants. I watched
Just steady hand.
Steady hand, yeah. He was good in Austria with the Graz Giants. He obviously won a French championship. I think it's a downgrade from Zachary, if I'm honest. I don't think they have the same receiving core. They picked up a Division 2 receiver who's a great Division 2 receiver. Josh Johnson. That's it. Amazing stats in college. Really good. I think he's going to be a great addition, but I don't think it's the same as Carl Sweet, who was this guy was a legit Division 1 receiver.
So does that mean you're going with the mystery in Switzerland? Because everything you're saying about the Dragons, but we have no idea who the guards are. Unless you've been watching Swiss football, which I admit I am no expert on.
I've watched some Swiss football over the last few years, and I don't rate it too highly, like compared to other European leagues.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure they'll bring in a lot of. I mean, the only real name they've got there, big Swiss name, is Tim Hammy, right? The defensive lineman, who's a monster. He's an absolute beast. So that's great for them. And they've also got a great quarterback,
Colin Hill.
Colin Hill, who, besides his injuries in college, was really good. Right? I think if he wasn't injured, he could have probably had a shot at the NFL.
Silas Nasita.
Norm Chow is obviously known for being a great coach. But like you said, it's so unknown. It's even more unknown than Paris, right? I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm excited to watch them. But I have no idea what's going to happen. So it's so hard for me to even guess who's going to win this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's a bit of a mystery. I'm going to go with the Dragons because they're at home. And it's a long flight, and maybe this Swiss team, they never traveled before together. And I don't know. I take the Dragons because Dragons fans, we see you. We see you guys are not happy with our predictions. I've been reading the comments. Okay, I'm picking you week 1. Make it up for it. Right?
I'm going to go with the Guards just to piss people off some more. I know the Dragons fans probably already hate me. I just have to go with the Guards just because Silas Nasita is too much of a baller, man. Yeah. He's so good. And he has single-handedly won games for teams. So there's no reason he can't do it again.
Absolutely. Moving on to the Sunday slate. We have a 1 p.m. kickoff. Love the NFL times, by the way. The Sean Shelton Bowl, as I have dubbed it. The Raiders to roll visit the Munich Ravens, the expansion franchise. Daniel, you've been hating on the Ravens all off season. Now I see you pondering this game hard. I'm a bit surprised.
I'm a bit hating on them. I just haven't seen much from the Ravens. Like their roster seems a bit light. Is all it is. I don't know how strongly I feel about their roster as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Castle is one of the best receivers in Europe, probably the best receiver in Europe, and that's great for the team. But I just don't know how I feel about their domestic guys, right? And the Raiders, Tyrell, have such a strong foundation. The Austrian guys are so good. They've been doing it for year in, year out across Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Strong, for us, I don't know. He's got this kind of people think he throws a lot of interceptions. It's kind of, I don't know, it's a bit of a stereotype that he throws all his interceptions.
From his former seasons,
From former seasons, but he's also thrown a lot of touchdowns. And he's also had big play receivers. This year, I don't know if he has that. Philip Hahn is obviously a great receiver. The Platzkoma, the other Platzkoma, and Marco Schneider are not big play receivers. Do you know what I mean? It's more about timing and anticipation. So Christian will have to change his game. I don't know. For me, there's a bit of an unknown there how that dynamic's going to work out. But I just feel like the Raiders Tyrol roster is deep enough and talented enough to beat Munich, who seem like a bit of a fresh-faced team.
Yeah, I like how you're looking at the numbers. I'm going to look at the emotions. If you're the Raiders Tyrol, you've been rolling with Sean Shelton. All of a sudden, he leaves you for a new, sexy expansion franchise in Munich. I bet they go to Munich on a mission to kick his butt in his first game.
he literally not carried that team. He was a face of that team for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
You think they hate him because he left?
No, I don't think
he
they
retired.
hate him. I don't think they hate him. I'm sure they don't hate him, but
yeah.
I'm sure there's a little emotion. Like, hey, we want to show Sean Shelton, you know?
Yeah.
He probably could have been here and been the OC or head coach or whatever.
To be honest, he could have played this year as well. But there was nothing about him last year that suggested he couldn't have played this year.
MVP.
So for him, I reckon it's more for him to be like. They're probably like, "Oh, good, thanks, Sean Shelton. You gave us 6 years of excellence. You won us a bunch of titles. We'll see you later, mate. Good, happy to have you." Whereas Sean's like, I need to justify leaving. I need to win this game and show that I left for a reason. Because if you lose, it looks like you've left for no reason.
No, I'm sure they were like, Sean, please stay. We love you.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, it's time for the next chapter, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, no, there's some emotion involved, definitely.
There is. But yeah, I'm picking Raiders.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
Roll Raiders. Here we go. This is maybe the biggest game of the weekend. We got the Frankfurt Galaxy visiting the Rhine Fire in Dusseldorf, your new favorite city, after our press conference visit. Rumors have it there's 15,000 seats already bought for this game.
They're sold out, aren't they?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Absolute ruckus crowd is waiting for the Galaxy in Dusseldorf. Been a lot of hype about the Rhine Fire. You know, we talk about Paris being an all-star team. Rhine Fire is probably even a notch above that. How do you feel about this week one game?
Yeah, Rhine Fire, if they don't win the championship this year, I think they've underperformed.
Wow.
And I don't think that's a wow. I think everyone thinks that.
No.
Everyone thinks that, right? The things they've built, like the way they've gone, and they were a bit, I don't know, there was a bit of like up and down last season with some injuries and some things didn't go right for them. And this year they seem to be coming into season correcting those issues, right? Jadrian Clark's had a whole off season to prepare. He's got some amazing receivers, probably one of the best receiving rooms in the league. Glenn Tucker comes back in week 6.
Yes, 4-game suspension. So I need to look at the schedule.
Fine,
yeah.
4-game suspension. Yeah, comes back before halfway point. Defense is great. Great. They got an amazing O line as well. Brought some pieces over from Cologne actually. So yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit for Rhine Fire, right? So good. Frankfurt though. Riton and Jacob Sullivan, great duo. Riton was winning one-on-one matchups like literally like 9 times out of 10 last year.
Yeah.
Former NFL receiver, absolute baller. But something I love so much about Frankfurt is their secondary. Yeah. I think they have the best secondary in the league. Right, it's unbelievable. They have Jamalcolm Liggins, right? Legit former NFL quarterback, right? Not just like, I went to camp for 2 weeks, which is obviously still a great achievement. But like, he was literally like, he played in games. He made tackles.
It's a different level.
Level. Yeah. And then we have Tony Anderson, the former CFL guy. Obviously, he went to a few camps and so on. We have Burndale Robbins from Nevada, legit Division 1 cornerback. And then we have Joshua Posnowski, sorry if I said your name wrong, been killing it in Germany and Frankfurt for years, right? Played for the University when they were GFL dominant, and now played for the Galaxy when they were Elf dominant in the first years, obviously.
Champions,
Champions, he suffered a few injuries last year, I believe, and so he wasn't about. They get Sebastian Gunther back, the linebacker.
He was amazing when he was healthy.
He was so good, and that's on top of an already stacked linebacking core. So I think Frankfurt's defense is going to give some teams some problems. Even a team like Fire, I think they will give Fire some problems. However, do they have, after watching Jacob Sullivan play last year, can they score consistently? It doesn't. Nothing they showed me last year says they can. If I'm honest. So yeah, I think Rhine Fire probably going to be knocking on the door for a little bit, but maybe third quarter they get it over and they get the win.
Yeah, I'm excited. I see why they put this game at 4:30 on Sunday. This is sort of like, you know, you would put the big game in the NFL in this slot and call it America's game. This is ELF's game of the week. I can't wait to see the Rhine Fire sort of accumulation of talent hit the field together. We'll see how they gel week one against a Frankfurt team that has been playing together for years and years and years now, while Rhine Fire sort of have to figure out their chemistry and everything. But I personally, I'm taking the Rhine Fire, just the talent difference to me. Players win games, right? And they got players.
It's at home. I think last year as well, the Frankfurt Fire game was the most. they were getting unbelievable amounts of attendance there, and
Yeah.
then it was on TV, and I think they had it was something like 10% of like the market share in Germany at the time,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is unreal. So 10% of everyone in Germany watching TV was watching that game.
That's crazy.
That's
Wow.
insane. That is actually insane.
No.
I could be misquoting numbers there, but it was a huge number. I remember writing about it
It
at the time.
was yeah,
Yeah, it was
good
a
TV
huge
numbers.
number.
Yeah.
So yeah, unbelievable. So yeah, like you said, prime time. Looking forward to it. Definitely game of the week for me as
Yeah.
well.
Tony Romo on the call for this one. Finally, we have another 4:30 game. We got the Leipzig Kings traveling to the Czech Republic to visit the expansion Prague Lions. Kings versus Lions, sort of a Narnia biblical game here. Yeah, I don't know what to think of the Kings, really. I don't know what to think of the Lions. The Lions got some players, but I don't know. They're a mystery to me.
Yeah, everyone's unsure about the Prague Lions, right? I mean, they're the new team. Um, Shazon Mumphrey, their quarterback, has been kind of mediocre over the last like year or two. In Europe, was okay in Karlstad, was okay for Prague Lions, but they seem to like him. Seems like a good guy as well, so I'm sure that's why they kept him on.
Champions in Czech Republic.
Champions in Czech Republic, yeah, exactly. He won a championship. And then the rest of the team, like all these other Czech guys, we don't really know much about.
Yeah.
We've seen them in the national teams, maybe. We've seen them play in different leagues because obviously teams in Czech Republic play in the Austrian league as well, like Prague Lions,
right.
etc. And there's a big conflict between the Prague Lions and the Prague Panthers, and so like that's already split talent in half, right? Which is unbelievably unfortunate. The Leipzig Kings just been struggling for years now. I actually hats off to them for staying in the league because like you could argue that another team might have folded, right? But they're still there. They're still doing their thing. AJ Wetland's still making 500 tackles a game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just interested to see how Prague play, but I don't think it's going to be like it's going to be a far cry from the Fire Galaxy game.
Yeah.
And there's this like narrative that like competition has improved league wide in Elf this year, and I think these two games being on at the same time kind of show that that's not the case. I think some teams are going to offer amazing football, like Galaxy Fire. Other teams like Kings and Prague are going to offer football.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's certainly the undercard there. I think the Kings, while they don't have the depth of a Ryan Fire or a Frankfurt Galaxy, I do like their imports. I love Keontae Allen. The guy killed it in Germany last year. Of course, like you mentioned, AJ Wendland, Rodion Henrique, Aslan Wetterberg, they got some pieces, but we know it takes a village, right? You need the whole team. All 53 guys need to step up at one point. And that's why I'm picking the Lions, because the Lions have been playing together. They've won championships in the Czech Republic. That's worth something to me. I also like the imports they've brought in, to be honest. And you see Zach Herod, he's picking some American guys.
I love Zach. He's a great guy.
He's a great guy. He's hacking the system a bit because he got American guys that don't count as Americans because they didn't play college football, essentially. So they got Brandon Butler, who was in the U.S. Army, played in the GFL. He's a great athlete. He doesn't count as an American. He counts as an E. There's a linebacker who's played for him before and played all over Europe. He's kind of, I see him making some interesting moves, so that's why I'm going Lions.
I would definitely counter that by saying the reason Americans 99% of the time are better than Europeans is because they've played college. And so like...
But these guys have played well in Europe despite not having played college.
Fair enough. I'm going to go with the Kings.
And with that, Daniel is taking the Kings. Our final few words got deleted here, so I'm just going to do a quick outro. Daniel and I agree. Paris Musketeers are going to take the first win of the ELF 2023 season over the Cologne Centurions. We both have Hamburg beating Roslaw. We both have Berlin beating the Enthroners. We're split on the Barcelona Helvetic Guards game. I'm backing Barcelona. He's backing Helvetic Guards. We both think the Raiders will beat the Ravens. We both love the Rhine Fire to beat Frankfurt. And we're split again on the Prague Lions Leipzig Kings game. He's taking the Kings. I'm taking the Lions. There you have it. Your picks for week 1. We can't wait to watch the ELF. We're so excited for season 3. Guys, if you made it this far in the video, please like, subscribe, share. We really appreciate the support we've had on the channel. And yeah, tune in for next week. We can't wait to talk about week 2.